Hey guys, it's Fish coming to you for your cryptocurrency and surf report from the Gold Coast. Little hungover this morning, you'll have to excuse me. Not a big drinker, but I did have a friend come home from the mines last night and we decided to have a few beers and catch up. So feeling a little worse for wear this morning, and please excuse me if the voice is a little scratchy. Most of you probably can't understand me anyway, am I right? Aussie accent and all. Market cap sitting around 101 billion. It's been pretty steady. So there has been a reduction in trade volumes down to 2.5 billion. You do have to be wary of long-term investors. People have been in the investment game for a long time, being used to trading Monday to Friday. So perhaps they're not as interested in putting money in later in the week and going into the weekend. Not always the case, but it's something to watch out for. Bitcoin steady, 2600, just having a look, 2603. So it's not moving a great deal, but I still think we've got a bullish trend coming up for Bitcoin. I think we'll see a breakout fairly soon, within the next month or two, towards 3,000 again. I've seen a lot of analysts now predicting 3,500 for the next psychological resistance point. So that'll be interesting. I've actually some of my mates got like Bitcoin reports coming through on their Twitter feeds. So if that's creating more understanding Bitcoin and a wider acceptance, that's obviously going to drive the price up. So to me, that's good signs. Ethereum steadied a little, just to 268.50. Could go down to 250. I don't know. I really don't. I'm finding Ethereum hard to pick at the moment. I still think it's excellent long-term buying, and I think we'll see a Ethereum Bitcoin ratio of 5 Ethereum to 1 Bitcoin. But could I advise you buying right now? There's just not enough signs that there's any confidence returning to it after the retracement from 400. It will take a while. That's a significant retracement. I mean, I took it. Well, I haven't taken a hit because I haven't sold anything, but I certainly, in the dollar value of that stock, has gone down for the time being. Litecoin down 3.5%, and maybe an opportunity for the day traders. It's trading actually at $50.75. I've seen it get this range between sort of $50, $55, even up to $57, $58 at times. So if you can buy at 50, trade out at 55, 57, 58 on a scaled sort of sell-off, you could do some day trading. I actually don't encourage it. I think day trading's pretty risky. I prefer a long-term investment strategy. That's me. If you are a day trader, I think Litecoin's got some opportunities at the moment. Pivex is really solid, really good growth patterns. Less, it's just ticking along nicely. It's up to $2.80, $2.85 last time I checked. So less chance of that really big sell-off that comes after a parabolic rise. I beg your pardon. Verge is doing well for us. We first started talking about it about 48 hours ago. I think we were looking at about 1/3 of a cent valuation at that time, and we're sort of pushing our way to a 1/2 cent valuation now. For those of you in, we're up 25% in the last 24 hours. I bought in at the 125 level. I actually nailed it after that last video. I suggested it might go down to 125 and 120. It stopped dead on 125. I nailed it. And now I've taken about 40% of that investment off at 184. For those of you interested, I know it's short term, and I don't like to encourage short term trading, but that's a lot of growth, and that's hard for me to just sit there and go, oh, okay, I'll just let it run. So no, I've taken some profit. There may be some profit taking to follow, and I'll look to buy back in cheaper. If I'm wrong and it goes, I'll probably leave it alone and look to reinvest those profits into another coin. If I FOMO and go, oh no, I shouldn't have sold out, and try and get back on, I'm just leaving myself exposed. And to be honest, if anyone else is considering buying, if there's another sort of jump up above 200, I think it's dangerous. I think it leaves yourself exposed to profit taking, even though I see Verge as a great long-term hold. So it depends on your investment strategy. If you're holding for 5 years, you can probably almost ignore the charts and just buy in. But if you're looking to make, buy in and out and sell and trade a little bit along the way, then you do need to try and get your best buy points and also sell some of the profit when you get those big rises, so you can buy back into either other coins or the same coin cheaper. We're essentially going to try and predict profit taking. So to do that, I'm going to give you an example of STEEM. STEEM's a social media platform that's doing very well. I'm actually on it myself, and in full disclosure, I have invested in STEEM as well. So I feel I should make that aware to you all before I show you the charts. The charts actually give you a really good indication of market sentiment, mass psychology, if you like. So values do end up being the overall winner. If we do our maths, we work out what a company is worth, and we can say whether it's undervalued or overvalued at any particular point in time. But it can take a while for that equilibrium to come back, the mathematical equilibrium of the true value of a stock or a company. So in the meantime, we do have to look at the signs, the buy signals, the sell signals, based on mass psychology. FOMO, panic selling. You don't usually see swings like this in the real world. So not so consistently, and not on every single stock in the market. It's unusual. So I don't think we've got professional money in this space. Not a lot of it anyway. I think it's still primarily being propped up by new investors, perhaps uneducated investors. That just looks like the patterns for me. I'm seeing a lot of round numbers being taken as profits. Usually we're taught to, if you're looking to take 20,000 Satoshis as your profit target, for example, you might set it at 19,998, for example. You just set it just before that point where that psychological resistance is going to cause it to crash. You want to be getting out a little before the crash, so you can find plenty of buyers lining up to buy your stock. That's the idea. So STEEM's an interesting one. Good platform. I've been using it. I'm not making a stack of money out of it, but I only started 3 weeks ago, so I can really see the promise in this. It's essentially, best way I can describe it is Facebook without ads. And you get paid for contributing content and curating that content. So it's based on, in my opinion, providing quality. So we used upvotes and re-steams, shares and likes to curate great content rather than just having feeds full of ads and garbage, to be honest, which is why I was never on Facebook. So STEEM's interesting. This is the chart here. Now, I've just gone back to the 23rd of June, so it's roughly 2 weeks. We're up around the 80,000 Satoshi mark, and there was actually a lot of talk on the platform itself about how well it's doing. And then, I don't know what happened. This might have been when Zuckerberg started filtering out the Steemed articles coming through to Facebook. I've heard that's happened now, so there's actually a program that picks up any Steemed articles that are coming through and just blocks them. So he's obviously a little scared if he's doing that. So that might have been down here. We've come back up, yippee, 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 all the way up to sort of 75,000, made a really good recovery, and then the waiting time sort of just went through the roof. I've had mates waiting for like 2-3 weeks for their Steemed accounts. You shouldn't see this as a bad thing. They're actually individually checking each account, so that's pretty cool. It's not like it's going to be a whole lot of fake accounts set up. There's going to be, obviously, but probably not as many with Facebook if they're actually having people checking the data that's been put in for the account registration. So yeah, again, we've gone down just with people struggling to get onto the site to use it, which, sure, it's a teething problem, but to me, an excellent indicator that people actually want to move over to this new social media platform. And so yippee, 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 here's our accounts, and then the stock goes up because everyone's in on Steem and they're posting and they're re-steaming and they're upvoting, so everyone's doing well financially and we're all happy. And then I don't know what happened here. I really have no idea. This could have coincided with the market correction. I think it did, actually, that we saw back down to 96 billion. So it's an overall market correction. Whenever you see that overall market cap just plummeting, it's important to remember that if you're holding 30, 40 different coins, there's no way that all these brilliant companies with these great ideas in different fields, from virtual reality to medical blockchains to currencies to all sorts of, they can't all simultaneously just be shit and worth less. So you've got to understand those signals. If one stock's plummeting, you've got to start scouring the headlines. You've got to try and figure out what's going on, what's caused it. Has Vitalik died in another car accident? For those of you who saw that rumour come out. You've got to look for that when it's one stock. But when it's an overall market correction, this is a emerging economy, and we need to remember that. There's going to be mass volatility. So my best advice is to ride it out. If you haven't sold on the highs, don't start trying to sell on the way down. It's difficult. Just hold it. Just wait it out. I mean, for as long as I've been in the space, which is admittedly only a few months now, but it always comes back, and usually goes back higher, especially if you've done your research and you've chosen well in terms of your investments. So we've come back down here during the sell-off. We've stabilised, and as the market cap has returned to equilibrium around the 100 billion mark, or a little over, and as everyone's realised that Steam's way better than Facebook, we've all jumped up here again. A little bit of profit taking and fluctuation, that's not unusual. We've got a sort of a range there between 75,000. But as you can see, my prediction is that with a whole lot of new account approvals coming through, we'll crash through 80,000 Satoshi, and we'll be well on our way to our target of crashing Facebook. So I think Steam's got long-term potential. People are saying, oh, what does it have that Facebook doesn't have? Well, no ads. You get paid for your quality of your content and for curating that content. So yeah, I think it's got a lot of promise. I also think people are scared of change, so it might take a little while, but yeah, Twitter, Pinterest, I don't even know social media, but I know there's like 50 different platforms. So if there's one that's coming up with a reward system that's really, really well designed around curating and providing excellent content, I can see it doing well in the future. So that's why I've invested myself, and I've actually even started using STEEM.com myself. Take a look at it. That's your call. Some people say, oh, waste of time. I think it is definitely going to be a social media giant, and I think last time I checked, the company's valued at 500 million. Now, Reddit, 6 billion or something? I don't even know what Facebook's worth, but I know it's worth a lot more than that. So for me, this is a really, really interesting opportunity, and something that I can certainly encourage. On the surf front, for those of you interested, it is 2 to 3 foot on the Gold Coast today. It's raining outside. I'm hungover. I'll go for a little splash to freshen up, but I'm not going to spend hours out there. It could glass off with this rain. There's not a lot of wind about anyway, so there are some waves about. Last time I checked, it was west-northwest, so probably up the northern end around Stratty, and the open beaches are going to be best for you today. The southern end's a bit straight. Scotty went for a surf this morning, came back, said, fish, it's a bit straight. I said, fair enough, I'll go a bit later. So, yeah, hopefully, I don't know, tide change, we might get some waves coming through, but it's not really happening at the moment. If anyone has any coins that they would like me to research specifically or to comment on specifically, I am making up a Bittrex training video as well to help you understand how to trade Bitcoin to altcoin, and I think that's the best way to trade within the crypto economy. But if there's anything you're interested in, anything you want me to research for you, I'm doing it anyway. I don't mind doing the work and passing it on. So hit me up on steemit.com, or I'm at beachbum investor there. Or I know some people have left me some messages on YouTube. I actually don't know how to reply yet. I'm still trying to figure that out, and I will do some live streaming in the future as well, so we can just have an open discussion about some of these coins. I really think that's the best way to get an indication of market sentiment. If we all chip in together and we all share our ideas, we get a good indication of how the wider world, if you like, is feeling. So if anyone has any suggestions on A, how I can stream, B, how I can download these movies in less than 3 hours onto YouTube, I know there are options. I'll go and research them, but to be honest, I'm doing most of my research in the crypto economy. So if you are really good with computers and you're able to quickly talk me through how to do live streaming on YouTube and how to, I think it's to do with the sound, condensing the sound format so that I can get it onto YouTube quicker, please do contact me. And if you've got any of those coins you want me to research, or any information at all really about the crypto economy, please feel free to contact me, and I'll try and put up a video for you. Have a great day. I'm going to go for a surf and work on the hangover, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Take it easy, brothers.